I'm ready now.
Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
And what can we expect?
Surprises!
Engineered by Jay Timko and produced by Eric Fady. And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Detroit Cast on a Tuesday with Mike and Jay. Big E is here as well. Timko is here too. And good day, sir. How are you?
Splendid.
Yeah? Very good. Very good. We got a lot to get to today. Get to it here momentarily. Should we mention that a lot of people have mentioned to us that we actually got nominated for those podcast awards?
Which to me is pretty remarkable because we didn't have a lot of heads up on that.
We had 12 hours heads up.
I know, man. I think we threw it on the message board. I think might have said something about it one day on the show, and then people just went with it. So
yeah,
thanks everybody.
Yeah, thank you everybody. That I don't know. You know, it's weird. I don't know what that really means, and we've barely looked at it as far as
we're a two-time nominee for the podcast awards, Mike.
We're in the comedy category. Who we taking on in the comedy category? E. There's some real players. I don't think we have much of a chance,
including one that I listened to. I better stop listening.
Nice.
I know.
Just don't vote for him.
Right? Yeah. The WTF is the one, which is the one I listened
Mark
to.
Maron, great show.
Yeah. Adam Carolla, Comedy Bang.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. Comedy Bang Bang, which I know is a big one. They got because they got a show on IFC too, along with Maron. So those are in the comedy ones, and there's more. I mean, I don't know that I'll recognize the other ones, but those specifically are very big.
And then we're in the People's Choice as well.
Yes.
Yes. Against A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan, Barstool Sports, Mail Time, Best of the Left, ESPN, one of theirs. No Agenda Show with Adam Curry. That's the old MTV VJ, right?
Right.
Rob has a podcast, which won last year, right? E?
Yeah, I kind of went on today and looked at some of the stuff. Yeah, he won last year.
No Such Thing as a Fish, Rooster Teeth Podcast, Serial, which is huge. I think they did a piece on them on 60 Minutes.
And the Detroit Cast.
Hey, we'll take it, right?
Sweet.
As you said, we're a nominated podcast, award nominated.
It's all about spin.
Voting starts today, right?
Yeah, voting starts today. So if you're listening to this first thing Tuesday morning, voting starts today. So go to podcastawards.com and vote for us.
And you can vote once a day. This isn't like, I know we'll probably tell you when you do it, but this isn't like one where you vote once and then that's it. I'm not asking people to go 7 days a week, I guess, although
why not?
It'd be nice if you did. You bastards.
Vote for your kids, do whatever you got to do.
Right.
Make this happen.
Right. But you can vote 7, but the point is that you can do it more than once a week or once a day, or you can do it once a day.
Once a day.
Yeah.
So are we going to have to send you to Vegas-y to cover this?
I mean,
because do they give it? Do they have because they have a banquet and everything where they give awards out and they announce the nominees.
Yeah.
So someone's going to read this show's name on a Vegas stage in a couple months, no matter what. We've already landed that gig.
Right. They'll say the name.
Yeah.
So.
And then if God, fingers crossed. If we were to win something and they said the Detroit guys, someone's got to be there,
right? So
to accept the award, right?
We could appear via satellite, like snobs.
Yeah, I don't want to.
We've got a previous engagement.
A pre-recorded taping of where you accept it.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. Someone's got, I guess,
Would you prepare a speechy? We can help you craft a speech.
You can craft it and Mike can read it.
CUPPE.
Would it be okay if my speech involved morally selfish reasons of me just slamming kids from high school, or no?
You didn't think I'd amount to shit. Fuck Ollie.
It has nothing to do with
it. Thank you for this award. It's very prestigious.
It has nothing to do with the award. It's just me taking this one time to just suck it.
Just want to say, Bill Johnson from Lakeview High, fuck you. Suck my dick.
All these people in the religious podcast category sitting there going, "Oh my!"
You just hear people off the side stage that are running the event, just going into the mic. Into the mic. Oh yeah, sorry. As I was saying.
I will take that burden, though. I will take that flight burden.
Would you be able to do that? Get up on stage and
Yes.
be a graceful winner, and thank all the other nominated people here today.
It's just it's
an honor to be nominated. This fine group of people.
He pulls out a 3x5 card.
Oh, I didn't expect to win. Hold on, I barely prepared something.
He'd be the
14
first
page.
person to have the music brought up on him for going too long on his speech, you know.
He probably would. God. No, that's funny. But thank you, everybody. That we couldn't have done that. We couldn't have gotten the show nominated by ourselves. That was everybody else. So thank you for that. If it goes no further than this, we'll take it. It's a start. You got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, it's great.
All right. So yeah, please do that, and we'll remind you as we go, because I think it's only 2 weeks that you're able to vote.
Yep, 15 days.
15 days. So we got 15 days to take over Vegas.
Stuff the ballot box.
Yeah, let's do it. Anyway, dare I say a big show today, Jay?
It is a big one. Got a lot to cover.
Yeah, we got a sex addict, Homer Simpson.
Yes.
Homer Simpson making the show
Finally.
today.
How did this happen by that? We'll get to it, but it's a crazy story.
It's crazy.
Oh, nonetheless, Jay, it doesn't matter how it happens. It's how-
The fact that we're going to talk about Homer
Yes.
legitimately.
Yeah. We've got a teacher, not a good one either. Well, was a good one. We'll get into that one. Also a rare bath salt case. Meow Meow. You heard of Meow Meow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Never
Not
done
good.
it. Yeah.
Not good.
Not good at all. Twitter versus ISIS. Christians rejoicing in ISIS. We'll get to all that. We had some more conjoined twins, some of our favorites. I don't like the fact that they're separating these people. It just seems like, I like them as they are.
Like the Ronnie and Donnie as they are.
Yeah. Did you see over the weekend we had LAPD shot and killed a guy?
Yes, another unarmed man.
Yes, a black one at that.
Doing nothing else but minding his own business, right?
Yeah, just hanging out on Skid Row and doing his own thing, and they shot him. It's so funny to see how much it's changed. Like, if this was 6 months ago, this wouldn't be a story.
Mm-mm.
This is a story because of what happened in Ferguson, Missouri.
Yeah.
And the police are saying that he repeatedly refused to comply with officers' demands. Yeah, that seems like the going line anytime someone is shot, killed. That seems to be a sticking point with the police, right?
Repeated refusal, yeah.
Yeah, to comply with orders. Seems like a simple enough request, right?
Yeah.
As we've discussed, when you get to the point where an officer says, I'm now placing you under arrest, that is the point when the discussion is over. Let's table it for today. That's the point where you're supposed to go, you got me.
And then you're going to have to win that one in court.
Yeah, because at
You've not won it on the street. You're going to win it in court if you're going to win it.
Valiant effort. I'm not saying you didn't try your best on the streets, but this one, we'll chalk this one up to the cops. They won that round. Let them have that. They won the battle. Maybe you can win the war.
There you go.
But you're never going to win if you just keep trying to object. I object to this arrest. That's never going to go the way you want, ever. It never has. It never will.
You're rarely going to win if you reach for their gun.
Yeah, you're almost never going to win if you reach for their gun, which is what this gentleman tried to do. What did this gentleman do? Yeah, well, he tried to grab at the cop's gun before he was shot. That's according to Police Chief Charlie Beck. He showed photos of an officer's gun with alterations he said were consistent with a struggle over the weapon. As you can see, the slide is partially engaged and a round has been partially ejected and fouled the firing chamber. This is indicative of a struggle over the weapon. As you can also see, the magazine is dislodged from its resting place. This is also indicative of force used on the weapon. There's also a screen grab from a privately taken video. If you examine that, it appears that the suspect's hand is reaching for the officer's waistband in the area where his pistol would be located.
Race of the officer?
Caucasian.
Okay.
I believe, from what I can tell. Otherwise, this wouldn't be a story. Black guy kills a black guy.
I don't know. I read that story earlier, and I didn't see reference to the race of the officer.
Oh, well, maybe.
So I wondered if he was black.
Oh, perhaps. I think there were multiple cops on the scene, so I'm not sure. That's why I always say that if Officer Walters is on the scene, I think it's better if all 5 guys open fire, because then it's like confusing as to who pulled the trigger, who had the shot that.
It's like the firing squad idea.
Exactly.
One bullet.
Exactly.
Bunch of blanks, one bullet gets the kill.
Yeah. Is that the video there? You can see a fight goes down for sure. There's not is it
So there's
close
5 cops,
Yeah.
dudes on the ground. About
Yeah,
to be,
this there should be audio. This guy's filming this.
and it's in landscape. Lo and behold, it's in landscape.
Tasing? The taser?
Yeah.
Damn. Oh.
Are they bleeping the swearing? Yeah. Boy, that is a violent exchange when you hear gunshots like that.
Oh yeah.
You know, not in a movie setting, but in real life.
They ring out, don't they?
They sure do. They're no bullshit. When those guns go off, they are no bullshit. But
did you hear the guy exclaim at the one point, "Why you gotta shoot him?"
no, one of the onlookers.
Yeah, right at the end there.
Yeah.
Why you gotta shoot him?
Well, again, I don't mean to be heartless or be a dick about it, but there's a very simple way to avoid that scenario, right?
Yeah.
It just seems like now you've got a homeless guy, so you're probably dealing with some sort of mental issues.
Yep. That
Which
could very well be.
which brings a whole new layer of. It's funny to see, you know, the spokesperson for, you know, the city of Los Angeles at the podium, and it's like, this is devastating for all of us whenever a citizen goes down. It's like, really? Are you devastated for the homeless guy you didn't give a flying fuck about while he was living on your streets for 20
that's
years?
a good point.
You know, all of a sudden now you're devastated to lose one of these fine, upstanding young
But at
gentlemen.
the same time, I just refuse to believe that any cop would want to kill anybody.
They
No,
wouldn't.
it's the absolute
We don't like
last,
doing that. It's a last resort for
Absolute
officers.
last resort.
Do you know how much paperwork and bullshit you're automatically not put aside the fact that you're taking a human life, right? As if anyone wants to take a human life. And, you know, there's monsters in every line of work. I acknowledge that. But on the whole, I think we could agree that taking another human being's life, you'll never be the same individual again. So I think it's safe to say that none of these guys would look forward to a moment like this.
But your point is too, professionally, that's on your record now, and all the bullshit you have to go through.
You're immediately off the force for months and desk duty
It's
at
always
best.
there. So whatever decision you have to make a year, 2 years, whatever down the line is going to be, you know, that's going to be reflected back on.
Totally. You're a cop who shot a man
Yeah.
dead 2 years ago was arrested getting a hand job at a local establishment. Like,
Yeah.
that's the story no matter what you do for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
So
I just refuse to believe any cop wants to do that. You know, so this notion going around out there amongst certain
hunting
circles,
people.
yeah, that they're just out there taking every opportunity. Bullshit.
Yeah.
No, that just completely upset his year. Again, like you said, put aside that it's a human life. That's disturbing enough. But that just fucked up that dude's year.
Yeah. For real, it did. And probably every one of those cops around there. There's immediately investigations that are just.
And now the media
par for the course.
scrutiny dragged through, you know, heaven forbid, another Aaron Milson situation.
Which one was Aaron Milson?
Darren Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I forgot our own joke. Yeah. Yeah, Darren's probably loving this.
Yeah.
Right? Because his name immediately gets brought up for eternity now anytime there's a cop shoots a civilian.
For sure.
Yeah, it's too bad, man. The cool thing, or not the cool thing, but they did use a stun gun on him. He apparently didn't respond to that. He kept fighting, which is common, which is the problem when you use non-lethal force. It is what it is. It's non-lethal force.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got a situation that's really heated and ugly, non-lethal force does just that. It's not lethal. So that can be a problem in and of itself. The investigation will take a look at footage. Both of these cops all were wearing cameras, and they were on.
Okay.
So they've got that footage. There's, you know, people standing around who, of course, know everything. At least 2 of the officers had been through the most extensive mental illness training offered by the department and had experience working with the largely homeless population on Skid Row there in Los Angeles. The investigation will take up to 5 months. They're some of the most exhaustive investigations they do. Whether or not the man tried grabbing one of the officer's weapons is going to be at the heart of the investigation. When you see an individual moving that way with their arms flailing around, that's a concern. If he happened to get his hand on one of the officer's guns, that would trigger the kind of reaction from one of the officers, which I would expect that sort of reaction if I did that.
Yeah.
As we've said.
But while I say, none of these guys ever want to shoot somebody, it could definitely, come out that the guy didn't act properly per his training. In other words, had a quicker trigger finger than he should have. I don't know. Maybe the video shows that, and maybe he is at fault for that.
If you get your hand on a cop's gun, I'm sorry. I would expect my fellow law enforcement officers around me to open fire.
Yeah.
You just would.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's expected.
The question is always, is it still the threat? And we weren't able to see in that the video's choppy and crazy and, full of motion. So maybe there's a better video from a body cam or something that'll come out and show that definitively. But
yeah,
people are human, so I guess we can't completely say, oh gosh, exonerate this guy. He acted completely proper. We don't know, but chances are he did, right? I mean,
right. And they weren't just rolling up on a group of guys laying in the streets on Skid Row. They were responding to a robbery call.
Let's go reduce the numbers of these homeless. Who's with me?
I'm with you, bro. Yeah, I don't think they operate quite like that. And in LA, they got bigger things to worry about. So when they get called to a robbery in progress, they're going to react.
Well, I'm sure it will be very carefully
dissected.
Yes,
as we go forward. Now, a little closer to home, we've got a story that hit today in the Detroit News about people being stopped for drunk driving. And some new tweak in the law that took place, I think January 15th, which
making it tough for prosecutors.
Yeah. So that
I'd not heard of this before today.
I hadn't either. It sounds like it was an inadvertent thing. It was changed the statute to preclude field sobriety tests from being used as evidence in court. State law was amended, as I said, Jan 15, to allow for a prelim roadside analysis to determine whether a person's demeanor in driving suggested they were likely under the influence of drugs or alcohol. And that's the key to this. It comes down to drugs, which they've always been able to test for alcohol, but they're trying to get more of a handle on the drug thing with more weed going around. And roadside.
So they've revised the act, the statute, the law that says, this is what happens in terms of, or this is a crime. And here's, what can be done in terms of the roadside, as you say, tests.
Yeah.
And in doing that, they fucked up. They tried to make it probably broader for drugs, but they changed things in a way that careful lawyers looking at this thing went, whoa, this is huge for a defendant
That's crazy
under the
how that
influence of
works.
alcohol.
Like, how trained do you have to be able to pick up on little tiny...
Well, if that's your specialty, though, you're always looking for changes in the law. And
really?
And if that's what you do every day and you have a lot of clients who's, who are depending on you to get them out of shit, you're definitely looking at that and thinking about it and thinking about how the defense might work.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that somebody who does that all the time would see that and go, whoa.
Yeah, this is a big
new
deal.
defense.
Traditionally, police administer field sobriety tests. Been there, done that. Reciting the alphabet finger to nose for accuracy, counting backwards, and breath analysis to drivers they suspect have been drinking or using drugs before getting behind the wheel. But due to the change in the law, the tests have lost their legal standing. Ironically, lawmakers were amending the statute to pave the way for future drugged driving arrests. But the bottom line is it is poorly written, and lawmakers missed it. It's giving prosecutors fits. They see arrests and cases which in the past may have been slam dunks, now with a low likelihood of conviction. It has made it more difficult to prosecute. But I think that the trick is if you give the breathalyzer,
you're
game
sunk.
over.
Yeah, it's just the admissibility of the roadside stuff. And doesn't everybody get a breathalyzer at some point? Usually, you might, no, I'm not going to do it. And then they'll get a warrant and take your blood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would it?
But that's like I don't know. I reached out to Dave Gorsica earlier, former Oakland County prosecutor. And so let's call him up and see if he can shed some light on some of this.
Why would you? Don't they do the breathalyzer every time anyway? So what's the difference?
I don't know.
No, you
Let's
can
ask him.
refuse it.
Well, they'll just get a warrant though.
Yeah.
Take your blood. So maybe there's cases where they don't get it in time and you sober up.
Maybe.
I don't know. We can ask Dave.
Hello?
Dave.
Yes.
Hey, buddy, it's Mike and Jay at the Detroit Cast. How are you?
Hey, Dave.
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Good, man. Haven't talked to you in a while, and ran across
Yeah,
this. What's that?
How are you guys?
Good. Did you read the article in the Detroit News today?
I did.
Yeah. Is there much to this story, or is this kind of fluff in the papers?
I think it's much to do about nothing, particularly since many of the legislatures, I think Senator Jones is a former sheriff in Genesee or Livingston County, says you're going to close the loophole as soon as they can offer an amendment, which should pass through the legislature, I think, with a lot of expediency. So I think it's much to do about nothing, particularly since you can still use what they're talking about in a search warrant to obtain blood or breath results. So, it's something that defense attorneys can use in the interim, but I think in the long term, it's much to do about nothing.
So they're going to fix it in the legislature, but until then, are you saying that in most cases or in all cases, you're just going to take blood anyway and you'll get them that way?
Well, yeah. And the other thing is, under the court rules, you can still go based on an officer's training and experience, meaning how many times you come across a drunk driver, how many times you smell of intoxicants or slurred speech or bloodshot eyes or, was he weaving or erratic traffic. So all of that stuff's going to still come in as probable cause for arrest. So
okay,
to me, I don't think it's really anything that lawyers will be able to make real roads into, getting acquittals. At least maybe in the short term, but definitely not the long term.
Yeah, I haven't read the act, the new law that everybody's saying provides this loophole. Is it obvious? Is it an obvious loophole?
Well, it's actually not so much a loophole, an inadvertent oversight that they failed to include some old language in the statute that they made an amendment and reinsert it. So, it'll be a bipartisan bill. It'll sail through the legislature and the governor will sign it. So
yeah, because who wants to be on record as blocking that, right?
Right. There's nobody that's going to not vote for it. So.
Yeah.
But in the interim, Dave, in the interim, while we've got this small window here to fuck around, like what should people what do people do if you get pulled over? What's your best play right now if you're playing devil's advocate for the bad guy?
I got to tell you, notwithstanding what they failed to do by inserting this language in the bill, there's no statutory mandate that anybody has to do field sobriety tests. What do I mean? You don't have to do your ABCs. You don't have to do heel to toe. You don't have to do finger to nose or what they call nystagmus, follow the light, when the officer does a flashlight in your eye. You don't have to do any of that. Yeah. All they're trying to do, I guess law enforcement hate me for saying this, but you don't have to do any of it and say thank you, but for not to. Yeah. All they're trying to do is establish probable cause to arrest you, ask you for a PBT and take you to station to arrest you, and make you do the data master, which is admissible, the breathalyzer test back at the station. So all you're doing is
helping
kind of, totally helping them. It's like a confession or admission without saying so in words, but your actions are giving them a lot of evidence to convict yourself. And more so, all this is being captured by in-squad car videos, because I think every squad car in the state of Michigan now is in-squad car videos. And as soon as they approach your car, they were going to turn on audio, but they probably already had video on you, following you if you're crossing or weaving or speeding. And then all those field sobriety tests are captured on video. So all you're doing is coughing yourself up.
So what's my play then? If I get pulled over and I've just been raging all night, I'm hammered drunk, I've really tied one on, Dave, and a cop rolls up to my window and he taps and wants me to play ball with him. What's my move at that point? If I know I'm caught dead to rights, is it just to say, nah?
Try to grab his gun.
You do have to offer your license and registration.
I can do that.
You don't have to admit. Well, you have to, but you don't have to admit you've been drinking. You don't have to admit where you've been. You don't have to do any of the field sobriety tests. Just be polite and cooperative and say thank you, but I prefer not to do any of that.
See, I
And
thought
then
that was an automatic.
what-
You lose your license for a year or something if you play that game.
No, that's the misconception. The roadside PBT, preliminary breath test, is something that is I think it's $125 or $145 fine for refusing to take it. It's a civil infraction. If they arrest you and take you back to the police station, that's the test you must take. And failure to do so will cause a 1-year suspension and 6 points on your driving record.
Gotcha.
But if they don't have probable cause to arrest you, then you could attack or say, you know what, there's insufficient probable cause to make me take the data master back at this police station.
So then,
So
like,
definitely refuse the preliminary breath test, because all you're doing is providing them a building block toward the whole case. So,
Evidence. You're just, as soon as they pull you over and they start asking you questions and field sobriety tests and the PBT, and I'm not trying to
no, I
tell
know.
anybody in the public to circumvent the law, but you don't have to do any of it in reality.
But if they see,
And
but if they
it-
see you weaving and speeding and or if they hear you slur your words, is that a game changer in that moment?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It cuts both ways, because then the police officer say, based upon my training experience, I've pulled over 200-300 people. What's their common denominator as far as driving? They speed, they weave, erratic behavior, they run red lights. When you come up upon them on the driver's side, what's the common characteristic? Oh, bloodshot eyes or whatever, intoxicant, slurred speech. So it can kind of get you coming and going, but you don't, necessarily have to make their job easier by supplying them videotaped field sobriety tests where you may be tripping and falling, not doing heel to toe, and slurring your ABC. You don't.
yeah.
There's no obligation, statutorily or otherwise, to do any of that.
And the cop's testimony, like you just alluded to, that can be sufficient to go get a warrant for somebody who refuses to take the blood test back at the station, right?
Yes. So absolutely. So they kind of got you coming and going.
Yeah.
All it does is it's really a bunch of a lot of putting on the cake when you do the field sobriety test and you do poorly.
Yeah.
Would you ever submit to a test like that if they pulled you over, Dave?
I mean, you don't have to, so I would.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought. That's kind of what I thought. But
And it's like I said, it's a misconception. You don't have to do anything. The only thing you have to do, once you're arrested and taken to the station and they ask you to do the data master, read your chemical test rights and watch you for a 15-minute observation period, you do that test. But if they didn't have probable cause to arrest you in the first place, a defense attorney can ask the court to suppress that data master evidence for lack of probable cause.
Yeah.
right.
So what they're really trying to do is just build a case before they arrest you and then capture it on the videotape. And it's basically the prosecutor's best evidence.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, you always have your hand in interesting cases going on. Anything you can tell us about currently?
Well, I mean, the Evan Reed case right now, and that's going up to the Court of Appeals where Tiger pitcher, relief pitcher,
Yep.
the district court judge dismissed it. Circuit court reinstated it, and now it's in the Court of Appeals.
Yeah, it went up, then back down, then back up, right?
Right, and now the Court of Appeals has taken it, ironically, on an expedited basis, which is kind of rare.
Who's your panel? Do you know?
Don't know yet. And I'm kind of anxious, but so is Evan. He wants this behind it. He did pass a polygraph, which I don't understand. Like, Kim Worthy continues to say, I don't have sufficient manpower or people to try cases and do this and that, but yet here's a person who I firmly believe is innocent, passed a polygraph. District court judge said, not only is there insufficient evidence to prove the elements of the crime, But I also don't believe the victim, and then she appealed.
Right.
Well, I think there's better priorities for her if she's always crying about insufficient manpower,
Yeah.
Right.
particularly when and we're willing to take another polygraph if necessary.
Yeah. And as for Evan,
I don't understand it.
is he with another team now?
Well, unfortunately not. And the tragedy about this is 8 teams have inquired about him, but all 8 teams have asked his agent, is that case still pending? And obviously we have to say yes. They're very interested, but nobody wants to negotiate a contract while this is pending, not knowing what the future outcome is going to be.
Wow.
Which is another tragedy. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It really is. And Kim Worthy, this is a travesty, and she should move on. And, if she's crying about the lack of manpower to tackle other crime, then why go after innocent people?
Yeah. Dave, thank you so much for the time, man. We really appreciate it.
All right, guys.
All right, buddy. Have a
Take
good
care.
night.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Take care,
All
guys.
right. See you, dude. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah, man. That's
Interesting
something.
stuff, man. I don't think a lot of people know a lot of that stuff. That's hard though. If a cop
It's
walks
easy
up
to be
to
as
me,
intimidated as shit in that situation, right? Because
Yeah.
you're thinking, well, I better just comply because I certainly don't want to be thrown in that car and taken. And in your drunkenness, you think, oh, I can pull this off, right?
yeah,
If I pull this off, I'm golden.
I'm
well,
golden.
guess what? They
Yeah.
know you're fucked up.
yeah.
They just
Of
want
course
this
they do.
extra building block of evidence.
Mm-hmm.
So don't give it to them.
Well, no, but I think that'd be more to me, not when you're wasted, but like, dude, I got that one this summer where I got pulled over in my friend's driveway and it was only over a headlight. And
Yeah.
I had 2 Bud Lights like 2 hours ago or
Yeah.
Oh,
something.
you're going to jail.
And
No, but
that's
it's
the
what-
situation that I'm talking about,
right.
where you think, you know what?
If
I'll just do this and comply, and they'll let me go. I definitely don't want to say I won't do it because then I know they'll take me
That's
in.
my point. And
Yeah.
it's like, I wasn't, you know what I mean? I knew I wasn't, it was not even 2. I'm telling you, it was maybe 2.5 hours ago, 2 Bud Lights. But I still, like, you're right. I would, if I'd heard this now, maybe I would have said, like, but, really, I don't know. See, I think when you're talking about being wasted, I think that's the obvious. They're going to be able to fucking get you if you're
Yeah,
wasted.
they've seen you weave and they've seen all that. They're going to testify that they've seen it. They believe you're drunk no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But that's easy to say. I mean, you're not going to pull someone over. Like when I got pulled over, I was leaving a parking lot. It was just a trap.
Mhm.
They didn't see me weaving. They didn't see me speeding. It was,
Yeah.
and I blew like a .1 or something. It was ridiculous.
Right.
why'd you do the field sobriety test, Mike?
Because I was an idiot.
So
But-
uninformed of your rights.
Yeah. It sucked. It totally sucked. But that was just like an easy pickings. We're at a bar or
Yeah.
a club and you see cars leaving at 1 a.m. or at midnight. Most likely they've been inside drinking. It's just an easy way to
I thought
yeah.
they
grab people. And I was 25 at the time,
I guess I'm wrong by this, but I used to have the impression that they could not do that, but I guess they can.
Are you criticizing these noble cops that we just defended in our last story?
That's right.
I'm just
Those never do wrong cops.
That's right.
Come on,
I'm
E.
Putting their life on the
not
line.
saying anything. I'm saying I thought that I used to remember feeling
Yeah, you're supposed to have probable cause to pull somebody over.
But
Yeah.
I know, but the idea that like there's this place, I don't really go there that often, but there's this place by me that I noticed one time I was walking out of, and I wasn't even driving, and I actually wasn't. I think I only had 1 beer anyway, so I could have driven anyway. But there was a cop just sitting there in the parking, like not even in another road, like sitting right there. And I thought, well, that just seems like I remember thinking that they couldn't do that. I thought they had to actually spot you doing something.
And who's going to stop them?
And then that's the thing, though,
Yeah.
right? Well, that's the thing. Who's gonna?
Yeah.
So
And it can be anything, a light out, above your license plate or something.
right.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're fucked, or your headlight.
Any cop will tell you that. There's a million
Yeah.
things that they could just point to and go, yeah, you didn't signal early enough when you
Tires
switched
are
lanes."
pretty bald.
I got that too one time, dude.
You got the tire balding?
No,
Oh.
I hadn't even been drinking. I wasn't 21 and I hadn't even started drinking in my life yet. So I definitely wasn't drunk. But I stopped at an intersection and it was too much. And he said I was like a foot over that
That
white
line.
and he
In case there's a pedestrian.
well,
Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's like 2 a.m.
I
And
hope
he-
they threw the book at you, you
Dude,
son
no,
of a bitch.
you know what's funny? The 2 funny things that this
Lawbreaker.
guy did. One was
These better be funny, by the way. You've announced them as such.
he,
Okay, the first one. I'm getting ready.
he stopped behind me.
Ah!
No. And when
No way. That was funny.
When he pulled me over, he said, well, I gave you plenty of room to realize that you had pulled in to back, as if I didn't back up, then he wouldn't have said, well, you're backing up in a street. And then when he breathalyzed me,
I would have probably said one of the interesting things the cop said instead of one of the funny things. But
okay, well,
I'm not sure it was that interesting.
Okay, well,
either,
the second thing was
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
He's saving the funniest for last.
Okay.
That's the way you do it as a
Okay.
comic. You set up the punchlines and then bang, you hit a home run.
Got
with
it.
this. So the funny one's coming now.
Well, the second one wasn't
I'm not
funny
trained
as much.
like him, so
Yeah, well, you didn't win a contest, but no, the second one wasn't as funny as just bullshit. He breathalyzed me, and he did
so
that.
you're a liar too.
Well,
That goes to your credibility.
I blew, and I hadn't been drinking anything. I hadn't even been drunk in my life at this point.
He breathalyzed you and you hadn't had a beer.
I hadn't even had a beer in my life at this point. He breathalyzed me.
And he said it registered something.
He's like, this guy's got to be drunk. Look how retarded he
I
is.
know.
And he looks at it and goes, "You sure you haven't been drinking?"
You're like,
I'm like, what if I would have said, "You know what, I have," but like I knew it was zero. I'd never
I had
drank it in my-
communion 2 Sundays ago.
Right, like it's like it just was like, "Are you sure?"
I kissed Nana and she was pretty drunk.
Like it was just, I don't know. I just thought it was an ass. Like to me, it was just an asshole
Yeah.
thing. Like, yeah, I am, because I haven't even ever drinking in my life yet.
Yeah.
But
I got pulled over one time for having tape on my tires. I just got brand new tires. They still had the tape on them.
Oh, okay.
And a guy pulls me over. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, I saw him following me.
That's direct to jail.
Yeah.
No warning
I
at
guess
all.
so.
That's
Jeez.
yeah. You deserve
Danger
that.
to society.
Yeah,
That
Can't
wasn't
have tape
funny.
on your wheels.
Yeah,
Son
that's
of a
weird.
bitch. Lawbreaker. We're surrounded by lawbreakers around here.
Yeah.
And then sticking with the police, we've got a story out of Des Moines, Iowa, Jay.
Okay.
And you and I have had this discussion. We might have to call in Beth and Gab because I'm interested to see what they would say in this. But we got a guy, 30 years old. He's in custody after he admitted to shooting and killing his neighbor.
Okay.
So officers find the body of a 35-year-old guy at this house after being tipped off about a homicide. And the suspect called his girlfriend and told her in confidence
He should have married her first.
He
Then he'd have a
confided-
spousal privilege.
he confided in her. Confided, dude. That's that he had shot and killed the neighbor. And this broad called the police.
oh,
What a monster.
bitch!
You know, here's my take on this. You know where I stand. I'm not telling you shit, by the way, because
Right.
you've already told me that you'd narc me out in a second. Christ, you'd probably come over with the cops.
I
to
always
my
think
house.
about the family of your victims.
Well, here's my thought.
Oh, they're already
Listen, there's already been one tragedy. We've established that. I killed that guy over there. It's sad. It's terrible. But why ruin more lives? If you throw me in jail, the show's done. Well, you might carry on, but for me personally, my life is in the shitter then, Jay. You've single-handedly put my
A
life in the
second life
shitter.
ruined.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Beth will never be the same. Well, she'll get over it. But you know what I mean? Like, you've caused a lot of collateral damage that whether you did nothing or what you did, you monster, and reported me, this end of the problem could have been avoided because there was no fixing what was already done. That was already done. Set in stone. There's no bringing it back. None. You can pray all you want, not coming back. That problem sits.
Yeah.
And so now you, by ratting me out, have added to that problem.
Yeah. Your couch is going to get lonely.
Exactly. So you stand by that you would still.
Yes.
God.
And for Gab, would you rat out Gab?
Yep.
I want to call Gab. Can we call Gab? Do you have a?
I do have Gab's
Do you
number.
have-
Do you happen to have it?
You know what? Actually, I don't exactly know it. Let me.
Yeah.
What?
I was gonna say I don't know Beth's number either.
What?
I have it though. I do have it.
Wow. Pathetic.
Dan Knapp, the neighbor, said he knew both parties involved and was not aware of any tension between the two that could have resulted in a shooting. I'm shocked at this whole thing. They said it is common to have friends and relatives who live outside the Des Moines area contact police with concerns by comments made from individuals. Typically, it doesn't result in a homicide investigation, but it's very typical for us to get those calls of concern. I'm shocked at that.
That people are narking each other.
Yes.
Just a girlfriend. I mean, I think it's more shocking to have a married person like myself saying that they'd turn him in.
Yeah.
But just a measly boyfriend, girlfriend situation.
Yeah. Well, I want to call and ask Gab if she would turn you in.
She won't answer.
She won't. She better.
She won't answer the phone, or she won't answer the question.
No, the phone.
Why not?
She's probably trying to sleep.
10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Hello?
Gabriella,
Yes.
you're on the air.
Hi, Gab.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Uh-oh. This is never a good thing if you're calling me.
What are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm listening to the podcast, of course.
Oh, you are? So you know where we're going?
No, I don't.
So you're not listening that well.
Jeez.
I had a quick question for you, Gab. And
Okay.
it's an ugly scenario. Fingers crossed that it never comes true and happens. But if there was a scenario where Jay ended up getting really mad at some neighbor or something, some rogue guy, you don't even like the guy
Maybe
either.
a guy with a dog.
Yeah, some guy with a dog or something. And Jay
Barking
ends
dog.
up killing him. All right. Jay just snaps, goes off the deep end and shoots the guy dead. And then he calls you and he's like, Gab, oh, you ain't gonna believe this. You know that asshole we hate down the street? I shot him and I killed him. Are you calling the police to report Jay?
Probably not.
That a girl, Gabriella. But for the record,
If you did it, I would report
he would
you.
report. That son of a bitch told me he would report me, and he said he would even report you.
I feel
What
bad
an
for the families
asshole.
of the
Isn't it?
victims.
Jay, there's no bringing him back. What's done is done. Let
Oh
it
my
sit. You're going to ruin a
God.
marriage over this too? You're a monster.
What do you feel sorry for the dog next door that we hate because you kill his owner? Are you kidding me?
No, I wouldn't.
That's a
feel bad
very
for that.
good point, counselor.
My goodness. Well, clearly I love you more than you love me because I'm
Oh.
going to turn you in.
That's what I got out of
Wow.
that. For the record, Gab, you could kill 10 people. I wouldn't say a word. I'd take that to my grave.
Thanks, Mike.
You got it.
Thanks.
Well, you don't even have to be
Please.
married. Just the fact that I've known you as long as I have excuses that behavior. You
You're a
had your
monst-
reasons.
You're a monster, Gabrielle.
You have your reasons, Gab. Who am I? Who am I to judge?
Oh my.
Turn
wow,
me in.
I'm
Think of the
shocked.
victims.
What?
Think of the victims. That's
Yep, Gab, we can go visit
Cannot
him
be
in jail.
condoned.
We can go visit Jay together in jail then.
probably
Yeah.
Since he wants to go to
just
jail.
killed a
someday.
neighbor. You're not going to say a
Sounds like you
word
just
about
wanna
that.
go to jail.
Do
Okay,
you rather
Gab.
me turn you in and then go hook up with some other guy? Like you want me to move on?
Yep.
Is that what you're saying? Turn
Uh,
you in, move on.
No, I want you to come visit me through the glass,
She's going to do that for a few months, but we know
Yeah,
how that
that'll
plays
happen.
out.
pressing our
Okay.
hands together against the glass. Just picture it, Gab.
That'd be cute.
That might be
For a little bit. For a little bit.
that might be the one thing that makes him think twice about this. The thought of Gab moving on to another dude.
You could bring the sweet
Please
pie.
plant that seed.
You could bring the
Right.
sweet pie to look through the glass at me.
Oh, she'd be so confused. That would suck.
Yeah, you don't want to explain that. Well, thanks, Gab. I just wanted to
No.
get your input on that. And as I thought, you said the humane thing that you would not
Okay,
turn
do that.
Jay in.
You'd invoke the spousal privilege.
And
Okay.
if
Of
you
course. I'm with you, Mike. I don't know about Jay.
he's a monster. I know. We've established that. If
He
you
is.
do, by the way, if you do go out and kill someone, feel free to call me anytime you want about it, and we will. It's just between us. I won't say a word to Jay
It's
if you
between
don't.
us. You won't turn me in. We
Nope.
got it. We got a bond here, Mike. I don't know about my husband, but we're good.
I don't know about him either.
Good night, Gabrielle.
Thanks, Gab.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. All right.
Oh my.
Good girl. Good girl. That's a loving wife right there.
Turn her in.
I know you would. You're a monster. Should we
Wrong,
call
man.
Beth and see what she would do?
She wouldn't turn you in.
You're
Call her.
I think more. I think
gonna
Beth-
have
I think
to
Beth
ask her.
might.
I think Beth will turn me in too. Son of a bitch.
Call her.
All right. E, would your parents turn you in?
I don't know.
I would turn you in.
What?
I might
told
even
you-
falsely accuse you.
I told you I wouldn't turn you in.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Hi, you have reached Beth, please.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, too good for a call.
Yep.
She's doing it at 10
Doing
o'clock
working
at
or
night.
something.
And she's out
Well,
with another dude.
The poos isn't here, so
Ah,
she must be
poos.
home.
Yeah, she's home. You know what? I texted her and she hasn't got back to me. So who knows?
Uh-oh.
Well, maybe we called her from the 800 number, so maybe she's not around. I don't know. Why don't we take a quick break and we'll come back. I'd love to call E's parents and ask if they would turn E in if he committed
Oh,
murder.
they're just
Can we call
waiting
Mike
for a
and ask him?
chance to lock his ass up.
Look at him. Absolutely not.
E
No.
Bitch.
doesn't care about the show.
Nope, sure doesn't. We got a lot to get to, though. We'll get into all of that next, and we'll talk about the teacher who we had mentioned. Was a teacher, and some more conjoined twins.
Nice. I love them.
Yeah, we'll get into all that next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey there, it's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zott Ford and Holly. Newsflash, we need your trade-in. Believe it or not, the spring market is right around the corner, and that means Zott Ford needs more pre-owned inventory. What's the best way to do that? Easy. Pay too much for the vehicle you are driving right now. We're paying up to 15% over Kelley Blue Book, regardless if you buy a new car from us or not. So bring us your trade-in and leave with a fistful of cash. Only at Zott Ford and Holly. Check us out and our massive inventory at ZottFord.com.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast on a Tuesday with Mike and Jay. And a few things to get to, including our friend Cindy Crawford. Remember the picture that was released?
The undoctored photo.
Yeah. Now they're saying that was an undoctored
photo.
Undoctored photo or something like that.
How anxious do you think her husband was to get this new photo out?
Yeah.
After seeing the press on that. Like, yeah, fuck off, everybody. Here's what she really looks like.
Well, they're saying, you know, the obviously that one, the wrinkles and all that. And you can tell that some of that is the lighting exposure that you can do with things. You know how you can doctor things, but I don't think there's an amount of lighting or doctoring. What is it? The contrast that they do on those photos where they do the high contrast.
They
that
added
makes it-
cellulite. Somebody added cellulite to that.
You think so?
Yeah, look at her belly. Yeah, if it's to be believed that this was doctored, and by all indications, if this new photo that's come out from her husband is accurate and recent, that is definitely a doctored photo.
Well, there's a big difference between laying on your back
Yeah,
and
but
standing
dude,
up
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
You can tell there's a slight paunch there.
That
Come
doesn't
on,
look like
man.
the same person.
No.
No.
No, it doesn't. How do we know that photo isn't doctored?
Exactly.
You know,
I mean, well, yeah.
What's real? Damn it!
I find it very hard to believe that. How old is she now? 50 something? Or is she 50 now?
I would think, yeah. Yeah, how could she look like that?
Yeah.
So here, let's just reset the story. Last week, we presented a picture
a few
that
weeks ago.
she's 49 years old.
Okay.
Last week or couple weeks ago, we showed this picture that apparently people were saying that this is the real photo that was taken during this photo shoot.
Yeah.
The photos that came out for this magazine, whatever it was, were doctored and all, photoshopped up so that she'd look beautiful. This is the real one. And we were sort of like, wow, I guess that's what a 50-year-old woman looks like, whatever. So her husband then tweets a photo out on Valentine's Day and says, hey, I gave my Valentine flowers. She gave me this or some shit.
Yeah.
And it's this picture of Cindy Crawford laying on her back, granted, but looking
At the pool.
quite good.
Yeah.
Without any sign of cellulite.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's just not a recent photo or what?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what to believe, to be honest with you. Yeah. I mean, she definitely doesn't look like the girl in the other photo. Why wouldn't they have come out vehemently and denied that photo was real?
I know.
If that was the case. She's obviously got amazing genes.
Yeah.
To be able to look like that, no matter what you're doing at 49 years old. The picture that we were originally looking at was from Marie Claire, Mexico and Latin America. It was a 2013 cover story they did. But she's 50 years old now. So I don't know, dude. I don't know.
It's hard
what
to believe that's her, right? By the pool?
Yeah.
The recent picture?
That's probably from 96.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Randy
Who is
Gerber.
the real Cindy Crawford?
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't this Gerber dude? Isn't he a big, well-known bar owner and stuff out
Is
there?
he?
Like real high-end bars and clubs and stuff in the California, LA area.
I don't know. Maybe. That
I
would
think
make
that's
sense.
his deal, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a new photo. I guess
like I
Cindy
said-
Crawford still looks like Cindy Crawford.
Well, like you said and I said, I mean, how anxious would you be if those other photos came out and it's like, no, that's not
Yeah.
me. That's not my wife.
Yeah, you would be, wouldn't you? If someone put out a picture of Gab, if I posted a picture of Gab and
If
she looked
that's
like
her
a
business,
slob.
her business is to be a model.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd think you'd fight back pretty quickly.
Yeah, whoa. Nice. Yeah, if I took something from Live Fit, like a picture of her,
Live
Fit, sorry. If I took a picture from her and doctored it to make it look like she was, like, yeah, this is the girl that's going to train you, and she looked like shit, you'd be outraged, as you should.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know what to believe anymore because that
is not the same body as the one on the pool.
I mean, that looks like an 80-year-old woman.
No, it doesn't.
Kind of
Looks
it
like
does.
a 60-year-old woman.
That looks like a 50-year-old woman to me.
Maybe, but
You know, what looks more like a 50-year-old woman? That one, her standing there on the cover of the magazine that they say is doctored,
Yeah.
or that one laying next to the pool that her
The
husband
other
says
one,
is
I will
her.
say the
The other
one.
one looks like a 50.
Yeah.
But if that was your business, couldn't you keep it together more?
I don't know. I mean, gravity is gravity and age is age, and a
Yeah.
couple kids, and
Yeah.
I don't know if that's possible. If that's possible to look like that, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Do we have other pictures of, well, I guess everything can be doctored
Mhm,
nowadays. It's
mhm.
so hard to prove anything, to say it's real or not. I don't know. Whatever. She's beautiful, but I don't know. I've never, have you found Cindy Crawford? Do you find her super attractive?
No, back in the day when, what was it? Probably mid 80s, late 80s was her heyday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Sports
you know.
Illustrated magazines in the 80s.
Yeah, I
down
was never like, you know, a Cindy Crawford kind of
Me either.
obsessed person.
Yeah. Me either.
Yeah, definitely attractive. Who wouldn't think she's attractive? But
Yeah. Well, good for her, I suppose. Good for her husband.
glad we settled that issue.
Yeah. I don't know what there was
More
to settle, but-
confused now.
Yeah, than ever. We got some more conjoined twins, some of our favorites. I don't like this trend that I'm seeing.
The separation.
The successful separations of conjoined twins. I mean, what is going on here? I thought they were for our enjoyment.
And particularly in this instance, I believe they're from Yemen.
Yes,
So
they are.
what are we doing? Just creating two terrorists? You know?
That's a great point. I hadn't thought about that. They're expected to make full recovery after being successfully separated in a 9-hour operation in Saudi Arabia. Who knew? You go to Saudi Arabia to get this kind. Although they are good at wielding machetes, I suppose. You know, I don't know what their surgeons
Good
are
with a
using.
blade.
Mhm. Both the babies, Abdullah and Abdullah Rahman, Abdullah Rahman Noodles.
Dude, whoa.
Wait a minute.
You sure that's not 3 kids?
Or 4?
Huh.
What?
That's different.
Why? What are those legs doing? Coming out of the
Yeah.
side all willy nilly.
Looks like someone's perpendicular to them.
Yeah. Holy Jesus! Look at that.
Yeah, so these 2 kids look like they're laying like foot to foot.
Yeah.
They
Well,
look like
more
they're-
like
Where's
belly
the-
to belly.
Hold on. Just they look like if you were to lay foot to foot and just absorb the feet into each other's bodies. But yet there's 4 legs and feet coming flying out their sides.
Yeah.
Where's the
Panus.
yeah?
Yeah. I
I
know.
don't know where the panus
Like,
is.
what are they
It's
cutting?
buried in a mess. It's lost in translation.
I mean, are they cutting?
How do you decide who gets what leg?
I don't know. I'd be worried you'd give one 2 rights and the other 2 lefts.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah. Look at that.
Why is this all of a sudden? Why are all of a sudden we've seen like 4 of these in a
It
month?
doesn't look severable.
It
You know,
doesn't,
some of
does
these
it?
cases are not, you just have no option to sever. And I would just by look guess that's not severable.
Yeah.
Huh.
It looks like one morphed into the other's belly.
It's like you're going to need some major
It looks like a-
chiropractic care after.
You know when you go look in the funhouse mirror and there's that one that makes 2 of you?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of looks like that, doesn't it? Where
Very
it's
much.
melted into each other.
Where is the bottom of their body?
There's a symmetry to this one that isn't usually there with conjoined twins, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's,
I don't understand because there's no bottom of their body. The bottom is the other person.
I know.
So what are they gonna do at?
There's got to be at least one urethra and one anus.
Yeah. I think there's some shared parts. The as
They're
you said, they're
expelling
from-
waste in some way.
Where is
are they? Or are they just expelling it into each other?
I don't think you live very long if you do that.
The medical team discovered that the twins shared organs, including the intestines. Medical team separated the pair after a 9-hour surgery carried out in 9 stages over the weekend. The bowels needed to be separated as well as their urinary system. So
Oh.
they probably were shitting and pissing into each other. Right?
But how
No
could they?
way.
It's
You
not-
couldn't live a day by doing that.
You couldn't. These 2 apparently could.
But how can you if they are sharing a digestive?
E,
or- okay.
do you really expect us to be able to answer that? We have no fucking idea. We're looking at this mess just like you, okay?
Well, I mean, you always, I don't know. I'm
I
trying
get
to
it.
have
We're
someone-
talking through. We're talking it through. Okay. But we're not going to answer that question, man.
Well,
They were separated as their urinary systems and then the pelvic bones. When they were separated, they were then divided into 2 teams to reconstruct the twins. which makes sense now looking at those pictures.
Doesn't it look like they're laying across someone else?
Yes, it does.
They just plop down on top of someone else.
Yeah, why would they put those conjoined twins on top of two other babies? Are they going to suffocate those poor other babies?
Why do we have to kill two other babies in the process?
This seems like it could have been planned much better. The surgeons gave the twins. Now this is where decision time comes, Jay. 60% chance of living. You flipping that coin? You taking that risk? You running with it? This is what you're looking about. Look what Gab produced. You guys are having a fourth kid, and this pops out. What do you do?
You've had an octopus. Now, what do you do about it?
Your child is gorgeous, both of them. They don't have vagines or panuses. We haven't found an anus yet, but we're quite certain it has one.
I think you have to try to separate in this case if doctors say it can be done. Again, looking at that, I'd say it can't be done. But there's no way. It looks like a board game spinner.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. How do you set it up? How do you. Can you go back? Oh, okay. Wow, that's a different view, too. Yeah, how do you even deal with that child if you leave it as one? It doesn't look like they could even be transported.
It would have to cartwheel everywhere it went.
way.
It would literally cartwheel to walk.
Right, dude. It's like a spinner.
Yeah. Come on, let's go to the store. And your kid would just cartwheel for a mile.
It's like a Chinese star. Just throw them. Just whip them.
Head, please.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Head, please. Don't forget his head.
Abdul Rahman.
60% chance of survival, but say that is now significantly improved. Both are expected to survive. They're currently being cared for in the pediatric intensive care unit at Our Lady of the Worthless Miracle. What? Saudi Arabia has a team of top surgeons in the separation of conjoined twins with 30 successful cases over the past 2 decades.
Man,
30 times.
Another unsuccessful zygote stage, I figure.
Yeah. Is that what we've deemed from this?
God.
Because remember when we talked to the one lady? We talked to the mother of not Ronnie and Donnie, but of the other two that had the TV show.
The two heads.
Yeah.
The teachers.
The teachers, yeah. That one taught 4th grade, one taught 5th grade.
Split class.
Yeah. That lady. Remember she was telling us that she had no idea until it popped out.
How can that be?
I don't know, but that's what she said. I mean, are you calling her a liar?
No.
But yeah, they were like, oh yeah, congratulations. Here's your
dang man.
Whatever this is.
Now again, focusing on this case still, Abdul Rahman. How do you decide which of those legs? Honestly, how do you even begin this, dude? Doctors are amazing to me.
They are.
You know, how does that? Man, how do you even turn those hips like that to make it a?
You probably just take a machete, and you just whack right down the middle, and then you just figure it out from there. You just figure it out as you go.
What an amazing project.
Yeah, Abby and Brittany Hensel. Yeah, that was it.
Amazing.
No, that is totally amazing. It looks like it should have 4 stomachs.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy story. Crazy. Hey, our favorite boys in ISIS.
At it again, are they?
They are. Well, no. Well, yeah, they're always at
the
it.
Screws are tightening on Jihadi John, Ali G.
Yeah.
You know, now that they've outed it. Well, now that they've outed him, they think that people will maybe start to come forward and grab some of the bait in terms of money, reward money.
Really? Because nobody seemed to give a shit about money in the past. I mean, they had 25 mil on Osama's head, and nobody blinked.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, sorry. Happens. What are you going to do? The shoe fits, right? ISIS has been under attack from Twitter the last couple days. They've quietly suspended at least 2,000 accounts linked to the terror group and its supporters. Slow down. It's only been, 2 years? Haven't we been screaming that from the onset? Like, hello?
But Mike, this goes against your free speech issue again.
Yes, again. For me, my rights I want protected. I don't care about ISIS's rights.
I mean, they're shutting down, their ability to communicate over social media.
Yeah. I don't know. Just don't shut down my ability to do that, right?
Got it.
The sites shut down include some of the most important distributors of ISIS messages in a major escalation against ISIS's propaganda and recruitment efforts. They've slammed them pretty hard, including the official media distribution guys. 13 of the 16 major distribution accounts were among those shut down. Top U.S. officials and security are not fans of this move, by the way. They don't like this.
How come?
Because they like being able to keep tabs on what's going on with them. And this hinders their ability to watch them more closely. And I think this has to do nothing with ISIS's propaganda machine. Twitter doesn't care about that, the whole free speech thing that apparently matters to some people. But they do care about all the people talking about killing people and the violent message. Apparently Twitter has some things in their rules and regulations that you can't threaten people.
Okay.
And that's kind of what this comes down to. So it'll be interesting to see, if that matters to them at all, if they, would turn something like that back on, if U.S. military wanted that. But couldn't they just? Well, I guess if they're not able to, never mind. If they're not have talk to the public, it wouldn't be worth having going anyways. So I don't know. Do you have a problem with that?
I have a problem. I guess I see. I hadn't thought it from the U.S. perspective and wanting to track.
Yeah.
I guess that speaks to probably the overall lack of intelligence when we're having to watch public Twitter accounts.
Yeah, that's what happens when you pull all your ground troops.
Yeah.
Declare everything's done and over and send them all home. You kind of lose that.
Watch the wires, I guess.
Yeah.
The wires.
Hope somebody slips up.
Watch the wires.
That's kind of what you get.
Yeah, that's kind of grim, man.
Yeah. Well, it's not all grim news. Some people are thrilled with this. Not that news, but the fact that ISIS is out there and doing their thing.
Yeah.
Can you believe this? Christians, and these are obviously hardcore Christians, think this is great news. Great news out of... I
think this is a making lemonade out of lemons situation, maybe.
You think?
I don't know.
Charisma News is praising a video in which families of murdered Egyptian Christians thank ISIS for making martyrs of their loved ones. A smiling man named Bashir, who just lost 2 brothers to ISIS, chats with audience and callers. We've got a little transcript from him. ISIS gave us more than we asked. ISIS strengthened our faith. I thank ISIS because they didn't cut the audio when they screamed declaring their faith.
Come on, man.
Believe me when I tell you that the people here are happy and congratulating one another. They are not in a state of grief, but congratulating one another for having so many from our village die as martyrs.
Is this just an attempt to throw some propaganda back at them?
Perhaps. So a caller calls in and says, today I was having a chat with my mother, asking her what she would do if there was an ISIS member on the street. She said she would invite him home because he helped us enter the kingdom of heaven. And he says, oh, how beautiful.
Who is saying this?
Bashir.
Okay.
Come on, follow the story. Bashir. You know Bashir from Charisma News.
Okay.
I asked her, what will you do if you see those ISIS members passing on the street? And I told you, that's the man that slayed your son. She said, oh, I will ask for God to open his eyes and ask him into our house because he helped us enter the kingdom of God. Meanwhile, Franklin Graham, who is the son of Billy Graham, is finding a massive response among American Christians with the announcement that ISIS has triggered biblical Armageddon and the triumph of Christianity. So he puts a post out talking about the evil of ISIS really shouldn't shock us. It is fully in keeping with their ultimate agenda of final apocalypse. His statement reverberated through Christian media, thrilled and excited over a great battle to come. And then they've got all the posts from the Christian side going, amen, we knew this day would come, and it's here. Amen, praise God. Through Christ we have victory. Amen, the second coming of Jesus is near. All Christians rejoice.
Wow.
Doesn't it seem a bit much?
Yes.
Yeah, there's Bashir. There's my man Bashir.
ISIS gave us more than we asked. They are not in a state of what? Grief, but congratulation. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's making lemonade out of lemons, I think.
ISIS just doesn't know they are laying out the red carpet for my Jesus. Ugh. Amen. And these are truly exciting times to know that soon we shall behold his glory. You are so right. We are staring at the end times in the face. Very exciting.
The whole end times.
Are all Christians praying for the end times? Is that like a common theme among that group?
I don't think so. E?
No? E?
Do you sense that?
Are you praying for the end times?
Praying for the end times.
Am I praying for the end times?
Yeah. Are you rejoicing in this?
I mean, technically, if it happens, it's a good thing, I guess. I don't.
Even if it's before the show makes it.
I hope it happens.
E.
I hope it happens after I'm dead, I guess. But I guess it doesn't matter because if it did, then it would be awesome. So.
Yeah, I guess I'm not viewing ISIS as some great, huge marker of the end times. I don't know. Maybe I'm ignorant in that, but.
And then they start taking some shots over the coming fate. They're gloating. They're gloating over the coming fate of folks like me and the atheists of the world. It will be a sad day for all non-believers, but rejoice for the redeemed. A little gloating. A little celebrating before the final whistle, I'd say. What a shock this day will be to those that deny Jesus in their life, especially the atheist. Will have to confess that Jesus is Lord. Blasphemous, beg for mercy. The end time is near, and there will be no more gay marriage and people saying Jesus approved of it.
Why would there? By the
These
way,
are just comments from regular old Christians. I don't know. I didn't make this up. I swear to God, I'm not lying.
He's not a regular?
What do you mean? Wait. What do you mean he's not a regular Christian? That's exactly what
you just say a regular old
that
Christian.
Who said that?
These Christians.
That's not just
on the internet. All right. I mean,
you just throw it out there.
These
like
are
it's,
I know.
These are on,
no. He's clearly
anything stated by a purported Christian is immediately, thrown out by Mike as ridiculous and look at this.
I'm just reading the post on Graham's.
No, but that's
Facebook.
not what you're doing when you say.
You're just being a cockhead.
That's not what you're doing.
I'm not
when
being a cockhead.
That's not what you're doing when you.
These people are being
you're not even letting me
cockheads.
say it. That's not what you're doing when you throw out. Oh, just a regular old Christian, because you're taking an extreme, of course, and then throwing it under this right. That's not the guy you're going to run into. That's not the guy you're going to run into at the church that I would go to on a Sunday. That's not the kind of same person.
Well, but to people that don't follow this stuff, it falls under the same umbrella.
I don't believe
all
that.
of it does. Just because you don't believe hard enough, like some people do, you're all reading from the same passages in the same books.
That's like saying all white people hate black people.
Exactly. I know they do.
So why are you being a cockhead about it and purporting that all white people hate black people in this
I'm just reporting
scenario?
a story. I'm reading this article.
That's bullshit. You're not just reporting the story, because when you threw your little commentary.
This is an article that I'm reading.
That's
yes,
not what
it's exactly what it is.
Does it say in that paper, oh, this is just a regular Christian talking?
Why does it need to say that?
Because it's not. It's clearly an extremist. You're clearly not.
But they're from the same thing.
But you just said you were just reporting the article. That's not what you are doing.
It's like saying all cops want to shoot black people.
Well,
do you believe that, Mike?
True.
No. You never go with the
You could
extreme
read
on that. Why do you go with this extreme on this?
Because we all live in this world and see this turmoil and this shit killing in the name of going on all over the place, and it's fucking irritating. It's irritating to see people ramping up like this is a big game. And this is a party celebrating what's going on in the world.
So you really think like mainstream Christians are supporting that view that you just read?
40,000 of them that commented on this page.
Out of how many people on the planet?
And have you read all? And you've highlighted the ones that are crazy is basically what you've done.
They're all crazy. Every one of them's
all
crazy.
40,000.
Yes. I just
you highlighted the ones
that
the writer highlighted as crazy.
I'll read the ones that I didn't highlight. We know the end of the story. Praise God. Where are the Christians who are willing to stand for their faith in America and die for it? I've read the book. We win. I know how the story ends. Do you? I'm so thankful. I know the end of this story. I read the book and we win. I read the end of the book. The good guys win. Hey, y'all, I read the end of the book. We win. Thanks, ISIS. Those are the ones I didn't highlight.
Okay, so
and there's tons of them.
I'm not going to fight over you. Why, whatever, dude.
It just gets I know what you're saying, and I don't want to get into a pissing match about religion. Like, you have your point, and E has his point, and whatever.
And you're a cockhead, and you take the extreme just to goad people on.
We're talking about extremists, though.
Okay,
that's the story.
Okay, but you're taking the side that, look, that all Christians are like that, aren't you guys? And then you just kind of throw it out there and lay it out there and leave it. Well, fuck off. No,
that's not what I did.
Yes,
you did. No, and that's what you do every time you bring up Christianity.
The fucking audio. You said this is an average Christian talking. This is the average. I wish I could have said the exact words you said 5 minutes ago.
I didn't say this is the average Christian talking. I certainly didn't say that.
I'd love to hear what Ray, you heard what he said.
You presented it as, this is your Christianity.
It is your Christianity.
It's not. It's as much my Christianity as saying I'm a white guy, so I hate black people. Yes, there's extremists and everything.
And that's what I was pointing out.
And you're not. You're doing more than pointing that out. So
that's exactly what the story was.
Like,
I am. What?
How can you forget 5 minutes ago? You did what you always do. You said you're reading the article, and you did, but you threw the one line in there and just passed over it. And then you just said, what?
What one line did I throw in there?
You said, this is the average Christian's opinion. It's not the average Christian. If I went to... If I went to the church,
I understand it's not the average Christian's opinion. I have a problem that it's any fucking Christian's opinion.
That's not.
We all share this earth together, E. That's the problem, that there are enough asshole psychos out here thinking that they're winning some game here. And this is all of our lives, that we all live in this world, and there's extremists running amok. I don't give a fuck if they're
then say
Christians
that.
or ISIS members. They all sound like fucking psychopaths to me. That's my point.
If saying, you know what, I think good is going to triumph over evil is fucking weird
that sounds
and
like
psycho.
a Star Wars movie to me. I hope you're right, Jay, but that good triumphing over evil, they sound like the same thing when I read this stuff. I understand what you're saying. I get it. And I hope you're right, but they believe they're good and we're evil. Just like we believe the opposite of them. Right?
The ISIS people, you mean?
Yes. They believe that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing for their book, just like Christians believe the same for their book, right? And any religion. I'm not bashing on Christianity.
But there are no, we know what though. But again, they're the extremists. There are also people in that same religion that do not believe in killing every single person, that chopping people's heads off. Just like there are Christians who don't believe that. I would not be okay with that. If the Pope, which I'm not Catholic, but if the Pope started going out there and beheading non-Christians, I would not be okay with that as a Christian.
You wouldn't?
Well, no, I wouldn't.
I would hope not, E.
Well, but that's what you just said.
So why
That's
do you
not what I
dismiss when he's trying to make a point like that? You just try to make him feel stupid. I mean, he's making a valid point. He's saying, look, if the leader of the Catholic Church went to an extreme, I wouldn't follow it. And then you just poo-poo it and you make him feel like a retard like we always do.
Because it all sounds silly to me. I'm sorry. It just does. And
yeah. Well, it doesn't to billions of people. So
I understand that. You're allowed to have your opinion on it. So am I.
Yeah. Well, and E or I or anyone else is allowed to tell you to fuck off if you're trying to say that all Christians are extremists and weird and
I did not say
freaky.
that. I wouldn't say that.
You presented it as here's your Christianity. You guys are fucking
weird. That's the story that I found today and read.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. That's exactly what it is.
You threw your fucking commentary, like Jay said, in one line, then threw it away, and everyone was just supposed to sit there.
Because it all sounds silly to people like me. That's what it sounds like.
But it's people like you. You didn't just read the article.
Then you need to listen to us when we say that's extreme. That's not everybody in this faith.
Fine.
Okay.
You can have that
settled.
point.
What's
Can
next?
we move on now? What?
We haven't done any of these.
We're fine.
Okay.
Go.
Okay.
All right. What do you want to do? You want to do the
I want to talk about Zot Ford.
No, don't do
the
it.
The fact that they have it all.
Good, nice timing, you son of a
Not
bitch.
only did they give the Detroit Cast listeners the best prices on new and pre-owned vehicles, they also have the best service deals in town. Right now, Zot Ford is offering all their friends from the Detroit Cast a $19.95 oil change special, which also includes a free brake and safety inspection. That's right, just roll into Zot Ford, doing your best to avoid Big E and his filthy hair and clothes, and tell them the Detroit Cast sent you. Not only will you get the $19.95 oil change deal, but they'll also give you 15% off any additional service work you need. Check out their deals and their massive inventory online at zotford.com.
We need new reads from Zot Ford. I'm tired of reading about the King's peanut butter and E throwing on the couch and Chaz Bono.
You just don't like Chaz Bono.
Yeah, right, yeah, you're right.
No,
Just the
no.
Chaz Bono part I have a problem with. Have you guys heard of Meow Meow?
Yes.
Like the kitty Meow Meow, the drug?
No, I guess
You
I
have?
haven't.
Why have I never heard of this?
I don't know.
You've seriously heard of
Yeah.
that? Really? A student who was on that drug, I guess it's methadone, which is bath salts.
Mm-hmm.
That I've heard of.
Right.
Stabbed his mom 11 times and then cut his own dick off. High on the drug.
Dude, more times, than not, when you're on bath salts, you fuck with your dick. Isn't it
Why?
true? I don't
What
know. Stay away from
That or
that
eating-
shit,
that or-
everybody.
That or eating your face. Remember that one person ate his own face or
Damn
something?
it.
Or ate
How do
not
you-
his, not his
how-
own
I was gonna say, how do you eat
not
your
his
own
own, not his
face?
own face. That bum's face, I guess. He ate that.
Yeah, was that bath salts?
I
I think you're right.
You're right. Well, not your own face. You're right.
Seems pretty
But-
futile.
It's
Yeah,
you couldn't get very far.
You're right. Not his own face, but he ate that bum's face.
Dude, that was a while ago, but you're right. I do remember
Well,
that.
remember the guy who was walking down I-75 like 3-4 weeks ago naked in the snowstorm?
Was that bath
Yeah.
salts? It was?
Cowboy hat on, just completely nude.
What is-
Totally.
What is with
Stay
those?
away from that shit. Does
I don't-
anything good come of that?
Right, I
Like,
don't-
what's this high like that it's so fucking awesome that you'd risk
It's
that,
like Coke, I think.
But-
It's supposed to be like
but
Coke.
endangering your dick?
Yeah, I don't get where the dick part comes in.
I don't know.
Apparently you feel no pain. You know, that you could cut your own dick off and not even feel it.
Wow.
Charles Mann is his name. Launched into the attack on his mother. And, Jay, you're going to want to get your gavel out, perhaps even your wig, because this happened in the
United Kingdom?
The United Kingdom. Thank you. His mother, Emma, this happened back in December of 2013, and he was sentenced yesterday. So after binging on the party drug and a lot of alcohol and weed, he stabbed his mom repeatedly. Then he turned the knife on himself to cut off his genitalia. Was heard shouting, "I love you, but this is a prophecy."
Oh, no.
What the hell that's supposed to mean?
Hell.
Yeah. He was jailed for 16 months after admitting to grievous bodily harm. As her son entered the court, Ms. Mann was seen mouthing, "I love you," in his direction. She required surgery for multiple punctures to one of her lungs and was wounded on her arms, head, and neck following the attack. The fuck? How do you attack your own mother? I don't get...
Dude, the same drug caused him to cut his dick off. How do you even begin to explain it?
That's true. The court heard how she made a frantic 999 call.
Oh.
Yeah, I've never heard of the 999 call. Telling operators, "My son's just attacked me and stabbed me, and he's going mental downstairs with knives." She was awoken when her son returned home and began trashing his room, and then he followed her to the kitchen and stabbed her 11 times. He was so high during the attack he wasn't responding to pain. When police arrived at the family home, he said to have told officers, "I stabbed her multiple times. I have killed her. I have stabbed my mom, and I need to be punished for what I've done." He said he had taken meow meow, loads of lines of it, and a lot of alcohol. He said to have described himself as a pedophile to police officers and begged, "I do not want to live."
Just digging a hole.
Dude.
What else can you come up with, right?
I'm so wasted.
Stabbed my mom. I'm a pedophile.
And then he ended it with, and this is the prophecy, and then he ended it with, "Take me to the light. I can see the vampires."
Oh, no. The light.
Are you ready? Do you have your gavel?
No, I understand that. Give me the sentence. I want to know what the sentence is. No, I understand it's too lenient. So lenient that the Crown will not speak on this. No, the Crown won't do this.
The judge.
The Crown wants no part of this.
Why?
He got 8 months.
Well, he got 16 and they reduced it to 8.
No.
He didn't kill anyone.
Crown will not speak in that regard.
Read the judge's statement.
"This case has a number of features which make it, if not unique, wholly exceptional. Lack of total awareness and capacity to form intent was the direct result of drug-induced psychosis. I further recognize with an S that in your psychotic state you inflicted life-altering injuries on yourself and have taken this cocktail of drugs before without any particular side effects. Your mother is an extraordinary human being who has conducted herself with enormous dignity, and I thank her very much indeed. I hereby sentence thee to 16 months, reduced to 8 months incarceration. The court has spoken order!"
Oh, Jesus, fuck.
I philosophically disagreed with that sentence.
Why? What did you think he should have gotten?
Fuck! 8 months?
8
Come
months.
on, man.
He's going to learn his lesson.
I guess you're wandering around dickless.
Yeah, it sounds like he is dickless, too. When the cops got there, they found him hanging out the window, bleeding down the side of his house. I see vampires!
How could you make the scene just any more extraordinary?
Isn't that awful? You know what would be an awful scene? Picture this. This teacher, beloved school teacher, right? In Southern California.
How can you do this to the kids?
I don't know. She went into her classroom at like 8:20. Students arrive at 8:40, and she hung herself in the classroom.
Honest to God, man.
She did lock the door, and so a couple of the students got there and were like, "Oh, it's crazy. The door won't open." So they went and they got another teacher who unlocked the door, and the three of them went in there together and found her hanging in the classroom. By the way, her dad committed suicide, and she's for years been like preaching to people about the ills of suicide and not to do it under any circumstance. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
I mean, I can't begin to appreciate the despair you must be in to be on the edge of that. But
yeah.
God, why can't you think about sparing others something like?
Well, that seems like a very driven. Like it seems like you're trying to send a message more than just wanting to take yourself out. If you're willing to do that in a classroom where kids are walking in
Yeah, I
in
guess.
20 minutes. They're going to be in your classroom. I mean, what image are you? How do you think that's going to play out? What's your end game?
Right.
You know, you're going to literally hang yourself in the middle of the classroom where children are going to walk in.
Fuck.
Yeah. By the way, when the students cut her down, as if they're not going to have to live with that for the rest of their lives.
What?
Well, the students and the teacher. I mean,
Try to
they
give
just
her CPR or something.
Yeah, they got her down. She was still breathing.
Hmm.
So I mean, when the ambulance got there, she was still had some sort of a heartbeat. They tried doing CPR, and then she was pronounced dead. But she's the one on the lefty.
Yeah, I know. You mean
What?
I can tell the difference between that and a 17-year-old chick.
Oh, dude! I swear to God, I didn't even notice that.
She looks very young, actually.
Yeah.
Say she's 31.
Yeah, and she was married. 34-year-old husband. They live in Anaheim. Yeah, I just can't imagine. You think of all the shit you went through in high school and that kind of stuff. Can you imagine if we'd have walked into class one day and your teacher's hanging in the middle of the classroom? There was no suicide note found. No word what would have prompted her to do this. So we're looking into it. Isn't that crazy? Crazy. E, you want to talk about The Simpsons?
every minute of the day if I could.
Geek.
It's funny, and this story will get over my head quick, to be honest with you, but it's pretty impressive. Do you remember the episode, that one, where Homer was inventing stuff? He invented like a makeup gun.
Oh, yeah, God, that was a great episode, yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, he wrote this
equation
on the board, on the chalkboard, and then he's got donuts down here, like, you know, a bite out of a donut plus this donut equals that, you know. It appears that Homer may have outwitted some of the brightest minds on the planet. The author of a book looking at the maths hidden inside episodes of The Simpsons has discovered that Homer may have predicted the mass of the Higgs particle 14 years before they actually found the Higgs particle.
I don't even know.
Which is the God particle.
Oh, okay.
They've been trying to prove, you know, find that particle, which in a really layman's terms is like the particle that Peter Higgs, the scientist, thought existed. It's one of the few, well, there could be a lot more particles, but they hadn't been able to find. But they think at the time of the Big Bang that the energy
that God created.
That your God created. At that point, what made things be able to come into form, like rock form or whatever, and start was this. It needed this field, the Higgs field, or the Higgs boson or something, boson. And I'm fucking this all up, but you know. Anyway,
the idea is there was holes in this theory, and they say Homer had this equation on the board on a Simpsons episode.
Yeah.
That actually predicted part of the.
In a 1998 episode.
How is that even?
It was the Wizard of Evergreen Terrace episode. He becomes an inventor in an attempt to follow the footsteps of Thomas Edison. I'll tell you how it happens, because every one of the writers on that show is a fucking genius and a mathematician. This isn't by pure chance that this happened.
So some artist, some writer / artist just happened to find this equation 14 years before physicists.
It was close, but basing it on the science that they had at the time, they kind of got as close as they could, and they got really fucking close.
Wow.
To like writing the Higgs, and it's the top one. I guess those are multiple different things, but it's
the M paren H, etc.
HO. Yeah.
Okay.
As particles passed through it, scientists believe that a fraction of a second after the Big Bang that gave birth to the universe, an invisible energy field called the Higgs field formed. As particles passed through it, they picked up mass, giving them size and shape and allowing them to form the atoms that make up you, everything around you and everything in the universe. This was the theory proposed in 1964 by Professor Higgs that has now been confirmed. Without the Higgs field, particles would simply whiz around space in the same way as light does. A boson is a type of subatomic particle. I know science is your thing, Jay, so bear with us. To try to pin it down, scientists at this... Have you ever heard of this place in Geneva, Switzerland? This cauldron? Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Where they found the Higgs particle?
One of those particle accelerators, or
where they got the thing
right?
whipping in the in opposite directions at almost the speed of light, they collided them.
I thought they were building something that was gonna something at State going on right. Aren't they building something at State right now? like that?
Maybe.
I'm serious about that.
They're not going to do it better than what they've done in Geneva. Why
Well,
would-
but it might be something that's for a different purpose. I don't know. I'd have to look it up again. I wish I would.
Yeah. It's kind of amazing, they say, as Homer makes his prediction 14 years before it was discovered. My PhD is in particle physics, so I was similarly shocked by Homer's equation predicting the mass of the Higgs boson. Peter Higgs, a theoretical physicist at the University of Edinburgh, was the one that is, who it's named after. Proof that the particle existed did not appear until March of 2013, when scientists working on this collar, the world's biggest atom smasher, announced they had discovered the particle and matched predictions of the Higgs and what it would be like in an experiment costing $13.25 billion. That took over a decade, I think, or 20 years to build that cauldron. And they claim that the formula written by Homer while he is attempting to come up with a series of madcap inventions, including an electric hammer, a makeup gun, gives close to the same answer. In fact, one of the scriptwriters for the episode, David Cohen, was responsible for sneaking the math equations onto the blackboard. He contacted one of his high school buddies, who's an astronomer at Columbia. The first equation on the blackboard was largely based on his work predicting the mass of the Higgs. The pair cooked up the equation to give the best answer on the data available at the time. He said the equation is a playful combination of various fundamental parameters, namely the Planck constant and the gravitational constant, the speed of light. If you look up these numbers and plug them into the equation, it predicts a mass of 775 giga-electron volts, which is not unreasonably higher than the 125 estimate that emerged when the Higgs was discovered in 2012. It was not a bad guess, bearing in mind that Homer is an amateur inventor, and he performed this calculation 14 years before the physicist. God. Fucking homie.
More reason to be my hero. Just proving it more and more.
I know he's a genius. And they point out that many of the staff are mathematicians. Even our boy Al Jean went to Harvard at 16.
Damn.
Yeah. So, no bullshit. But isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah, that's funny that the guy has an astronomer buddy, and he calls him up. Hey, we're gonna have this chalkboard. You want to throw an equation down
it's like
for me?
calling your buddy, that, and going, "Hey, I'm doing a podcast out of my house."
I'd have to. Jay,
I'd be amazed what you can get out of high school buddies if you just blow in a call. You never know what you'll find.
Just ask.
I'd have to look more into this, Jay, but I wasn't completely wrong. They're building some rare isotope facility at Michigan State where it started.
That sounds like the same thing.
Started like a year ago. Well, no, but I'm just saying I wasn't like.
Yeah, no, I that vaguely sounded familiar. I'm with you, man.
What are they doing there?
I'd
Are they
have to
trying to
Hey,
find
it's
the
cutting
God
edge
particle?
shit. Don't worry about
I'd
it.
have to
all right?
read more.
He hates Michigan State. Why are you going to bat for Michigan State?
Just because I was, I just knew about it, so I thought it'd be.
But what is it? Anything related to what we were talking about, though, or is it?
Kinda. Well, no, but
It's science.
you know what? I think I just wanted Jay to.
You tried to impress Jay. You son of a bitch. You love Jay. When are you going to admit it?
I think I just wanted to impress Jay that I knew about something that was going on state. You're pathetic.
Well done, young man. Well done.
At least I was right, though.
He
At least I
seemed
wasn't
mildly impressed. He did.
Yeah, I did.
I think you mildly impressed Jay today.
You know what? I only remember I was on a campus one time with my brother, and they were starting to make it, and my brother mentioned it to me. That's the only.
Oh,
I
your
didn't
smart
read it.
brother did?
I didn't read an article. I didn't forget it. But I was able to draw that
That's
back.
Impressive. Very impressive.
And before we get to some email, we've got a Seattle doctor, anesthesiologist. He's in some shit. Boy. He's got a suspension to practice. They've suspended him indefinitely, his license, for repeatedly sexting during surgeries and engaging in sexual activity at the workplace.
I feel like we covered this guy before.
Did we?
We did a guy for sure.
This may be
Art Zoberstein? Was that him?
The name doesn't.
It actually does sound familiar.
Does
to me.
it?
Yeah.
I feel like maybe we first reported when it was first reported, and maybe this is kind of the follow-up.
Well,
saying it has been suspended.
It was first suspended June of 2014,
okay.
which could have been almost right after you started. So we could have.
We absolutely talked about a doctor that was in trouble for doing
Sexting and shit during surgery. God.
But he had people coming in to, like, some chick that he's delivering babies. And like, give me a second. And he's sexting with this chick, and then she'd come in and he'd fuck her in the room. And then he was letting her decide, and a couple other people, it sounds like, allegedly, decide on medications, of course, like Oxys and Vikes, shit like that, and just filling scripts for them and letting letting her decide how many she was going to get and take, and there was no follow-ups or anything.
Perfect.
Yeah, so he's been fined $5,000.
That'll teach him.
Yeah, there he is. There's my man,
dude,
Dr. Feelgood.
I think that's him. I think we reported on that guy.
We absolutely could have
Yep.
in June of 2014, so it would have been almost a
It's
year
nice
ago.
to see justice has been served in that case.
$5,000, and he's got it's indefinitely suspended, but he can at one point reapply. So
Gotcha.
fingers crossed. Hopefully he'll be back on the practicing soon. Do we have some good email?
Yeah, right before we get to that, though, as you all know, Big E threw all over the couch while Chaz Bono ate that King's peanut butter, like Mike mentioned. What you might not know is right now at Zot Ford, you can lease a brand new 2014 Ford F-150 Super Cab 4x4 for just $235 a month. That's right, lease a Superfly pimped out bad Mamma Jamma F-150 4x4 for just $235 a month. The trucks and the deals won't last long, so hurry in and let them know that Big E is going to get penetrated on the Vegas Strip. He's not, because he's a winner.
He is.
No,
He's a winner.
No.
And then just sit
what
back.
made you go ahead?
Sit back and watch the magic happen. Folks, we all know that this can only happen at Zot Ford and Holly, I-75, and Exit 98. What made me what?
I forgot what I was going to say. What made you think that he's
a winner?
Yeah, that he's a winner. What?
He has discipline. He has a certain retarded
Retard
discipline. Yes. A savant-like discipline that's going to carry him through this.
Is that a compliment? Do you take
I
that?
take it as a compliment.
You do. Okay.
He does, and if anybody who really knows him knows what I'm talking about. The discipline that gets him here at the same time every day, that gets him to Zot Ford in the morning, crack of dawn, up, he's at it. He works hard at what he does. When he has a goal,
You are so full of shit. You were on Team Adam so strong for 6 months.
I know
For
he can do it.
Now that you have a dog in this fight, you have a bike on the line.
I know
You're
he's-
seeing this through E-colored glasses.
I know he can do it.
Ugh.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, we've got some email to get to. Staken writes in.
Uh-oh.
Look, listen, man and Eric. So I'm at the Garth Brooks concert. Eric, listen closely, please.
Uh-oh.
And at one point in the show, Garth brings out Trisha Yearwood to sing her big hit, When a Girl Loves a Boy. Do you remember that?
I do.
During the song, the camera in the arena was picking out couples out in the crowd and displaying their picture on the Jumbotron framed in a big red heart.
Yeah.
When their picture was displayed on the big screen, the couples would kiss and the crowd would cheer. It's
Right.
a kiss cam.
Right.
We've all seen
We've
a kiss
seen
cam.
that. Yep.
Next, when as you might have already imagined, who should appear on the Jumbotron? None other than Big E and some dude.
No.
No way.
I don't remember
He
that.
kissed him.
No.
What?
No.
E?
No.
Are you claiming mistaken is
Yeah,
mistaken?
I am.
E?
I am.
You'd be easy to pick out, though, with the pink hat, right?
Yeah, it would be easy for someone to lie. There's no way. Look at
You tell us, right?
I would, dude. I would.
You told us you were in bed with another man.
Yeah, I would tell
Yeah,
you
I think you would tell us.
if me and Ty got on the big screen and I freaking did it just to be funny, I would say it, and you'd still rib me, but I would say it. I don't.
Didn't happen?
I don't.
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
Did it happen?
No, it didn't happen.
You
I wasn't-
hesitated for a second. You said, I don't think. You started to say, I don't think.
No, I was gonna say I was. I mean, obviously I was drinking, but I remember the concert completely.
Did you kiss any men
No.
during the evening?
No.
Your friend Nick, did you see he posted?
Yeah, dude, he's got to stop posting. But I mean, no, nothing he said I didn't already admit though. He's just. It's not like I didn't say that she wasn't fat. I did. So I mean, it's not like
But
he
you were
said-
holding her hand down the walking down the
Yeah, and then I
sidewalk
kind
and
of
stuff.
and then I kind of I said that too.
You did?
He did, yeah.
I said all that. I didn't hide anything that happened. So
I'm not saying you were. I'm just asking. Jesus Christ.
Back to the Jumbotron.
no, it didn't happen.
Have you ever been on a Jumbotron?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
You have?
yeah. Back when I was a kid, I used to really try to get on that thing as a kid.
All right, so you know how to get on there.
Yes, I do.
All right. And what did you do to get on the Jumbotron before?
When I was a kid, man. I mean, it was I used
Did
to
something
be very
obnoxious?
energetic,
Yeah.
painting my face, back in the day, of
Yeah.
course, and all that stuff.
Wearing a pink hat at the Garth Brooks
Yeah.
concert?
Yeah,
Dancing with your hands in the air?
Didn't happen. I'm sorry, mistaken. I'd like. You know what I'd like
I
to
think
do?
maybe you're mistaken.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I don't know.
If that's what he says, I guess we
He
have to believe
seemed
him.
hesitant for a second.
The
You
other
saw
thing
it too,
is,
Jay.
I think I might have been even gone for that song. I'm trying to remember what song because
Trisha Yearwood.
I know when she did her little set, that's when I went to go piss and get a beer. Frankly, now I did hear her play X's and O, the two songs. In fact, what's the song that she said?
When a girl loves a boy or something.
She's no, I was there when she sang.
But yeah, because you said you saw the jumbotron and the heart thing.
Yeah, you remember the kiss cam, right?
Oh, at games, I didn't even understand.
No, you remember the kiss cam at the Garth Brooks.
No, I don't remember seeing that on the big screen. I actually don't even remember that part on the big screen. I didn't see that they.
Wait
did
a minute. Did he not say that he remembered that? No,
when you said Chris Cams, I thought you said you remember a kiss. I didn't realize that you meant that night specifically. I don't remember that you did that at the concert. I was not looking at the screen at that point, apparently.
So that's your story. It didn't happen.
Yeah. I missed some of her set too, though. This could have happened during.
So if we're able to produce a video of you doing this, you'll deny it as well?
No. If she has video of it, I guess I can, but I don't. Does she have a video of this?
So if there's video, you can't deny it.
I suppose there is. I wouldn't be able to.
Okay. Take that for what it's worth, everybody.
Does video of that exist?
No.
Of course it doesn't. I knew it didn't.
I thought you were going to spring something.
Not that I know.
Knew it didn't.
I thought you were totally going to have that moment in court.
But don't we take from his answer that there's some gray area there?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if a video shows it, then I guess I did.
Yeah, there's huge gray area. Huge.
Kevin writes in about the self-checkout. Couldn't agree with you more, Mike, about the self-checkouts at stores.
Oh, infuriating.
So what I do, says Kevin, is when the shit says waiting for the attendant, you know, when that happens, when you've got some sort of product that you can't scan yourself or it's too complicated, waiting for attendant, he says, I just put the shit in the bag. Fuck it. If they can't do the job, then I can't pay for it. I know it's bad. I don't do it all the time, just when I'm in a hurry, Kevin. Oh yeah, Big E, go sit on a banana and think of TCG. From Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. Totally agree with him.
You know what? I got to be honest, and I really, really am not someone who steals. I don't steal. But with that self-checkout, I have had times where I have a cart, and all of a sudden I get out and kind of realize, oh, I never put this one thing on the thing. And it would never happen if there was a person there. I don't do it on purpose, you know what I mean? But I have had times where, and I don't walk back in and pay for it.
Oh, you do steal. Said you didn't, but you do.
Well, I don't do it on purpose. I don't mean to.
Deep Pocket Company, they don't notice.
I don't mean to.
Our buddy Noel writes in, hello, fellows, including Big E. Since he may be more of a man after visiting Dawn again, or less depending on where the dildo ends up, how did no one else notice that Deuced is an audio separated at birth from Christian Slater?
See, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
I thought it was somebody else, so...
Yeah, you thought he sounded like Maron?
I kept thinking he sounded like Mark Maron to me.
Also, he says, Uwe was fucking awesome. It's so strange that a guy I would never meet has affected my life so much. I say, God damn it, like 15 times a day with great exclamation.
So do we.
Love the show. Bye, BUI Noel.
Derek, do you remember who everyone thought he looked like when we were growing up?
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, totally.
I could see that too.
Everybody thought that. You wouldn't notice if you saw him with a beard.
Right.
You know, but... Yeah, he got Robert Downey Jr. all the time when we were young.
Yep. Holy shit, Eric is plowing Grandma Burry.
I don't know who that is.
You know who Grandma Burry is?
No, I don't. I heard that reference.
Dude, this is Grandma Burry. Those drops we had from that lady?
We're further north.
Yeah, in Washington. I'm shocked that you don't know who Grandma Burry is.
Oh,
those were humongous drops on the Drum Mike show.
Trevor writes in, gentlemen,
I don't recognize the name.
I just saw Mr. Fady's most recent and probably first piece of free ass on Facebook. To be honest, I never would have thought in 1,000 years that E would be into a woman who looks like present-day Iggy Pop. I guess you learn something new every day.
I guess these guys are all nailing fucking supermodels over here.
I thought she was just fine.
I think she's not that. I think she's a pretty attractive. But...
You almost got yourself in trouble, son. I think she's attractive, E. There's nothing to be ashamed of there.
No.
And she'll talk to us about it.
Right.
I love that girl.
I
hope you marry that girl.
She is definitely not unattractive, for sure. For someone just to
go that far.
I would.
Eric writes in, I'll try to make this short, says he. The other day I made a thread on the message board as a gag to find out who this mystery woman is, meaning the chick from Mount Clemens. Out Lemons.
Out Lemons, yeah.
I had an odd night out with a Mount Clemens lady of around the same age, about a year and a half ago, he says. I almost said in the thread that I'd laugh if her name was Dawn, but left that out. Listening today, I cracked up when she revealed her name.
Oh, no.
I remember she had a daughter who was 19 at the time. Basically, says Eric, the writer, I got a call from some of my friends to, quote, pick up their friend, end quote, from some bar on the way over. I declined, and she found a way over to his place anyway. When we all went out to buy food, my buddy's then girlfriend got pissed at Dawn, and Dawn started to walk home. I felt bad and offered her a ride. On the way, we stopped at a bar for drinks, and after a while, she invited me back. My girlfriend just moved to Portland a couple of weeks prior, so I wasn't looking to go down this route. I just went with the flow for fun. Not to lie, I would have engaged in Congress, but to our surprise, her daughter happened to be home, which made it too awkward, and Dawn had very strange mood swings. Ooh. Maybe it was the drinking. Maybe it was the drinking. Needless to say, I wasn't drunk enough to get past the awkwardness and had other plans at night elsewhere and just got out. If I wouldn't have had a girlfriend and or was on one of my usual drug/alcohol benders, I would have pounded that. I kept in touch with her through texting for a bit longer, but never went back to seal the deal. In fact, I still may have her in my phone. Her friends called her Crazy Dawn. She probably has no recollection of me, but I'm tempted to shoot her a text asking if she was on the Detroit Cast. P.S. After writing this, I looked her up on Walter's Facebook, and I'm pretty sure that's her. Had I gone the distance, we could say Big E had sloppy seconds to one of the listeners. He says, Dawn actually seemed like a pretty cool person despite the mood swings, but knowing she fucks filthy trolls like Big E made me glad I didn't jam my penis inside. For the record, her daughter was pretty cute and was sitting watching a movie without pants when we stumbled in.
Have you met said daughter?
No.
No.
Keep up the good work. I'm kind of bummed out I share the same name as Eric, but he'd probably be fun to drink with. I hang out at my friend's bar near downtown all the time. Tell him to come down. I can hook him up with one of the gay regulars if he's interested. Yeah, what's the name of the bar, Eric? Let us know.
And you just said downtown. I don't know where downtown is. The bar downtown? Okay.
Sounds like you going to a comedy gig.
I'm going to Kalamazoo. Show up.
This is Grandma Brewery.
You don't remember that, E?
No.
Dude, it does sound like...
But we're not in Olympia.
We're further north.
We're further north.
Eric, I'm absolutely blown away that you don't know Grandma Burry.
Even I know that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm weird like that. How certain things I remember, and then certain things I just don't.
Yeah. Let's save the rest for tomorrow.
By the way,
Sure.
real quick. Speaking of the
Oh no, E, you're back on the horse.
Friday.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna be
Friday. I'm trying to give people actual Friday at Novi, the same place you guys came the last time. This Laugh Tracks Novi again.
Oh, you're back there. Has it been a month?
I know. It's just
no. Didn't they tell you not to come?
Yeah, but this isn't part of a contest. This is just an
open mic.
Not. I think it's not like a.
Oh, he's been invited back.
I mean, it's
wow,
not.
This is big hitters.
No,
here.
it's not like it's not an open mic. It's kind of like I don't know.
How long is your set?
10 minutes. So it's not. It's like a little better than an open mic, but not fully. Yeah. So
Novi, Friday night.
Yeah.
What time?
I don't remember already. God damn it.
8-ish, 9-ish.
Probably
10-ish.
8 or 9. I don't know. I'll say.
Goody.
I'll say tomorrow. I'll look up for tomorrow.
Hey, and don't forget, we've been nominated for People's Choice as well as comedy categories in the Podcast Awards, 2015 Podcast Awards. You can go to our website, and over on the right side, just above the message board link, you'll see a link to that if you're so inclined to go vote for us. So.
Yeah.
And also, if you're so inclined, you can do it every day.
Yeah, you can vote once a day from your.
No need to just do it once.
So. Yeah. No, might as well. I mean, this is no bullshit competition. I mean, they're all national shows for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're all national shows.
Worldwide, in fact.
Yeah. But they're for real, like, big-time shows. So if we've got any chance at all, it's gonna be a real grassroots effort. So there's 15 days starting today. So go! And with that, why don't we call it a day there. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and continue sharing the show and all that stuff. It really does mean a lot and help. So with that, we'll see you guys tomorrow for an all-new Wednesday edition.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Listen to God, watch you grow.